Hey, have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, you keep hitting the wall? I was falling over and over. In fact, no matter what I tried, it wasn't just working, I was just stuck. Failing over and over. In fact, at a point, I was afraid of even making personal decisions. Honestly, I almost gave up. I kept asking, is anything wrong with me? I kept asking, what is actually wrong with me? So, in fact, but the truth is, nothing was wrong with me. The problem was how I was thinking about failure. The problem was how I was thinking about failure. The moment I made one simple shift in my mindset, everything changed. Everything just changed. Yes, you had me right. Everything changed with that simple mindset shift. It turned failure into growth. Setbacks into lessons, and eventually it led me to real success. You see, that simple mindset shift saved me from staying stuck, and it can do the same for you. Yes, if you do that, how much, can you use it in your own life? You see, today I am going to share with you what that mindset shift is or was, and you can use it today. Yes. You see, let me take you a few years back. I was frustrated, constantly comparing myself to others. I tried, with something new, a new project, a business idea, or even a personal goal. And when that did not work right away, you know what I did? I would say, you see, I knew I wasn't good enough. That voice in my head told me failure was proof that I should quit. You fail once, maybe twice, and suddenly you start believing that it's just not meant for you. I don't know if you have been there. As long as I believed it, I stayed stuck. But what changed? How did the shift happen? Here is what happened. How the shift changed everything for me. I stopped seeing failure as the end. I deliberately said it slowly. I stopped seeing failure as the end, and I started seeing failure as a feedback. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. It's as simple as that. Instead of asking, why am I failing? I started asking, what is this teaching me? What lessons can I learn from this setback? What lessons can I learn from this failure? You see, think about it for a second. Just for a second. Think about it with me. Every successful person you admire has failed, probably more times than you can count. You see, sometimes what we see is the result. What we see is the success. But the story, the failures after failures that they went through, we know where we don't see them. Yeah. So what is the difference? Those people did not quit. They didn't avoid failure. They didn't quit. They didn't let failure define them. What do you know? They let failure refine them. That's right. Instead of letting failure define them, they let failure refine them. You see, here is, how my personal transformation happened. You see, when I started treating failure as feedback, I gave myself the permission to keep going. That business idea that didn't happen, it taught me how not to do marketing. That goal that I didn't reach, it showed me where my habits were weak. You see, that rejection, it prepared me for the next opportunity. You see, suddenly failure it was no longer, proof that I couldn't succeed. It became part of the process for succeeding. That's right. It became part of the success for succeeding. And little by little, things started to change. My confidence grew. I became more resilient, and eventually success, followed. Not because I never failed again, but because I refused to let failure stop me. And that is the big difference. And my friend, that is very, very important. Now, let's look at some of the takeaways. Here is my challenge for you today. The next time you fail, and you will, I'm sure you will. I'm not a prophet of doom, but I'm sure you will fail. The next time you fail, because we do all fail, instead of asking, why me? Why don't you ask, what is this teaching me? What lessons can I learn from this? And write it down. Learn from it and adjust and try again and go again. That one mindset shift, that is shifting from failure is final to failure is a feedback, can change your entire journey. Trust me. You see, because success isn't about avoiding failure. It's not about using failure. It is about using failure as a fuel. That's right. You use failure as a fuel. So, you see, I went from feeling like a failure to building real success in my life. And it all started with this shift. And it worked for me. Trust me, it can work for you too if you try it. So remember this, every failure is just feedback on your way to success. It is, if this video, my friend, has touched you in any way, if this video has given you a new perspective, why don't you hit that like button and subscribe for more motivational videos, and share this with someone. There's someone out there that needs to hear this, that should start treating failure as a feedback, because we all fail, but we don't all have to stay down. The question is this: will you let failure stop you, or will you let it teach you what you need to know so that you can grow and succeed? The choice is yours. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.